Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, hit subscribe, smash for like, all of that good stuff. So as we know, in the heavyweight division within the IBF, Filip Hrgovic is in line for a title eliminator, and right now he's in the process of trying to find an opponent. But that process has been exceptionally hard. The IBF have been going down the rankings in order to find an opponent willing to fight Filip Hrgovic, and right now nobody has accepted that offer or that proposition. Bear in mind, if you were to beat Filip Hrgovic, you'd be in line to fight Anthony Joshua, who holds the IBF title. So yeah, don't get it twisted. Filip Hrgovic is a risky fight, and he's not really all that well known amongst the casual boxing audience, so the payday coming with it isn't going to be large. But ultimately, if you back yourself, you're in line for a massive payday in the future, fighting for the IBF title. You're fighting for a chance to fight for the heavyweight title and earn a massive payday in the process, and nobody seems willing to take that chance. I mean, if you look at the IBF rankings, Charles Martin, this guy keeps on talking that he wants an Anthony Joshua rematch. Well, if that's the case, why not fight Filip Hrgovic and, take that eliminator, beat Hrgovic, and then you fight Joshua? Obviously, Charles Martin isn't all that confident against Filip Hrgovic. Obviously, beforehand, it was supposed to be Filip Hrgovic versus Michael Hunter. That fight was in negotiations for what seemed to be months, and eventually Michael Hunter pulled out, citing he's had better offers elsewhere. So Michael Hunter ruled himself out of the equation, and when you go through the rankings, the following names have apparently turned down the fight with Filip Hrgovic: Joseph Parker, Ajit Kabayel, Tony Yoka, Andy Ruiz Jr., Luis Ortiz, who apparently, according to some, is the boogeyman, Joe Joyce, Dempsey McKean, Otto Wallin, Zhang Zili, Hughie Fury, and now we are down to Martin Bakole. And apparently, according to Eddie Hearn, Martin Bakole and his trainer Billy Nelson said they would take the fight. However, they've essentially changed their mind and changed the terms of how they want to take that fight. So they are now saying they want a potential Hrgovic fight to be pushed back, and they want a warm-up fight in the interim before that fight. So here we have Martin Bakole, a guy with zero fans, zero profile, brings nothing to the table commercially, and he's out here playing games when it comes to a final eliminator with Filip Hrgovic. And again, bear in mind, the winner of this fight potentially could fight Anthony Joshua. And imagine all of the money that comes with that. And these guys are still unwilling to take that chance against Filip Hrgovic. Imagine having such a lack of belief in yourself as a heavyweight, an alleged heavyweight contender. It's absolutely embarrassing, the fact we've gone down all of these rankings and nobody's willing to fight Filip Hrgovic. Don't get me wrong, Filip Hrgovic is a risky fight. He himself doesn't have much of a profile, and he is a very risky fight, there's no doubt about it, but again, if you beat this guy, the rewards are huge in the future. And who knows, man, Filip Hrgovic hasn't been tested. Who knows how good this guy truly is? For all we know, he could be a massive hype job. Great amateur, don't get me wrong, but he's not been tested in the pro ranks. This guy's been the distance with the likes of Sean Turner. So why not take the chance and try and knock this guy out, knock this guy off his spot, and become mandatory? Especially when you read through some of these names who are turning this fight down. Guys like Luis Ortiz, who is at the tail end of his career, on the verge of retirement more than likely. Nobody's going to give this guy voluntary. So he's going to have to force his way into a position to fight for a heavyweight title. Here he's got the opportunity and he turns it down. Absolute disgrace. Disgraceful from Luis Ortiz. Again, this guy was described for years as a boogeyman in the heavyweight division, yet he's shook of some unproven amateur standout in Filip Hrgovic. Joke. Who the fuck is Dempsey McKean? Nobody knows who this guy is. Is this guy going to get a voluntary shot? Absolutely not. But he's got an opportunity of forcing himself as mandatory, and he turns down an eliminator. Ajit Kabayel, this guy couldn't draw flies to shit. He's got one of the most unattractive styles in the heavyweight division. He's dull, he's kind of herky-jerky, he's not great to watch. Nobody's going to be queuing up to fight Ajit Kabayel. He's not going to get many big opportunities based on his name value. Here he's got one due to his rankings, and again, he's turning the fight down. Martin Bakole, another one. No profile, brings nothing to the table. You know, opportunity here to fight in an eliminator where he could fight for the heavyweight championship, and he turns it down. All of these guys ranked below Filip Hrgovic in the IBF rankings are an absolute disgrace, if I'm being honest. And the only, when you look at all of these guys ranked below Hrgovic, the only guy I give a pass to really is Joe Joyce, because he's in a good position himself in the WBO, and who knows, if Joshua Usyk falls through, then he'll fight Alexander Usyk for the vacant WBO heavyweight title. So I understand from Joe Joyce's perspective, but the rest of these guys, absolutely disgraceful. I mean, Luis Ortiz, man, 41 years old, more like 51. Nobody knows who this guy is really outside of boxing fans. This guy was described as a killer, a boogeyman in the heavyweight division, and he's out here turning down eliminators, man. What an absolute fucking farce this has been. As far as I'm concerned, at this point in time, the IBF need to stop fucking around, and Filip Hrgovic needs to be installed as mandatory by way of forfeit. Because all of these guys have forfeited their positions to fight Filip Hrgovic in a final eliminator. So now nobody wants to take this fight in the top 15. Filip Hrgovic should be named as mandatory. That way, he can continue his career, continue to stay busy, and his career will have some clarity and he'll have an idea of where he's going next. I understand the need in having to fight an eliminator to get your shot, but if nobody in the rankings is willing to fight you, just make this guy mandatory by way of forfeit, because that's how it should be in my opinion. At least then Filip Hrgovic knows his place and he can continue with his career, because this is holding up Filip Hrgovic's career. I'm sure he's in limbo right now, whether to take a fight or whether to wait for the IBF to resolve itself. But that doesn't appear to be the case right now. This is going to drag on for a long time. So, to me, the IBF should just make Filip Hrgovic mandatory. None of these guys are willing to fight him, so what's the other alternative? I mean, how many times have we seen, basically, an entire top 15, apart from a couple of names, turn down an eliminator, especially in the heavyweight division? It's absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. All I hope really is that Filip Hrgovic gets back in the ring soon. I hope this situation is resolved ASAP. And I want to see Hrgovic continue his career, because I think he's a very good talent. I think he's got the potential to be a very dangerous contender. And who knows, man, maybe this guy could become a heavyweight champion. But yeah, right now, this guy's being avoided like the fat girl in the party, man. Absolutely crazy. But anyway, share your thoughts below. Been your guy, Del Boy. Peace.